Breaking news. Russia promises closer ties with North Korea but denies any correspondence between Putin and Kim. On Thursday, Russia announced its plans to expand ties with North Korea, though it did not confirm a White House claim that Russian President Vladimir Putin had written to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. It was reported on Wednesday by the White House that Putin and Kim had written letters to each other promising to increase their cooperation on issues related to arms sales between Russia and North Korea. When reporters asked Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov whether or not the letter exchange had occurred, he dodged the question. There is mutual respect and good communication between Moscow and Pyongyang. We plan to expand on them in the future. Multiple channels of communication are open, he said, calling North Korea a very important neighbor. Washington has previously expressed concern that Russia might acquire additional weapons from North Korea to use in its conflict with Ukraine. The United States government sanctioned 3 organizations earlier this month for what it claimed were their roles in facilitating arms deals between North Korea and Russia. Nello Scavo's frustration always boils over upon his return from Ukraine. The first thing people will ask him as a war correspondent for the Italian national newspaper Avvenire is it really as bad as they say? Sometimes I think that only if I come back badly injured will people start taking me seriously, he said to The Guardian. Like they don't believe Russia is killing innocent people. The problem is that Vladimir Putin has always had strong support among Italian politicians and the public, allowing the Kremlin to spread its propaganda with relative ease. Italian media is permeated by Russian propaganda and disinformation, which scholars attribute to politics and historical anti-Atlanticism. This is despite the fact that Italy's far-right government is one of Ukraine's staunchest European supporters. In April, Ipsos released survey results showing that nearly half of Italians are neutral on the issue. After the Russian invasion, Italian security and terrorism expert Matteo Pugliese at the University of Barcelona observed a steady stream of Russian government officials, ideologues, and media personalities being hosted by Italian TV networks. Russian officials Sergei Lavrov and Maria Zakharova, as well as ultranationalist ideologue Alexander Dugin, journalist Olga Belova of Russia 24, which denied the Bucha massacre, and Newsfront reporter Yulia Vityazeva, who wished a bomb would strike the Eurovision Song Contest in Turin after Ukraine's victory in a Telegram post, are among those named. I believe that Italians were more exposed to Russian propaganda than people in other Western European countries simply because TV producers wanted a larger audience share for shows featuring contentious debates. As Pugliese put it, Mediaset, owned by Silvio Berlusconi, an old friend of Putin's who, a few months before he died, claimed that the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, provoked Russia's invasion, was the host of the most Russian propagandists, according to Pugliese's count of 12. Berlusconi, who has served as prime minister 3 times, is widely held responsible for Italy's current reliance on Russian gas due to his close relationship with the Russian president, which included praising his leadership and helping to forge energy deals. Scavo claims that right-wing parties in Italy in particular have kept in touch with Putin. As the article states, not only Berlusconi, but even current Deputy PM Matteo Salvini, who used to wear a T-shirt featuring Putin's face. Several Ukrainian journalists declined invitations to appear on Italian TV shows last year, prompting the Italian Parliamentary Committee for Security, COPASER, to launch an investigation into the presence of Russian commentators with ties to the Kremlin on Italian news channels. The mural in Mariupol and the photograph taken by Helen Whittle, an Italian photographer, claims a pro-Russia mural features her daughter. Learn more. Sometimes, rather than Russian propagandists, Italian commentators who see the war as the result of Western provocation appear as guests on Italian TV. Professor of the Sociology of Terrorism and Political Violence at Rome's Lewis University, Alessandro Orsini, is a frequent guest on La Seven and Rai. The theaters in Italy are packed for Orsini's talks because he has made it public that he considers Zelensky to be just as much a war criminal as Putin. Orsini, who describes himself as a pacifist, thinks that accepting Putin's victory is Ukraine's only hope. Many prominent Italian intellectuals share his view and advocate for peace at any cost, including Ukraine's capitulation. Orsini denied having even one Russian friend, when asked about accusations that he was pro-Russian. According to Arianna Sacconi, co-founder and editor of Valigia Blu, an Italian independent fact-checking website, it's not pacifism to suggest surrender as a solution. Throughout history, these people have consistently opposed NATO. They put on a mask of pacifism to cover up their anti-American sentiments. This can lead to genuine anti-Ukrainian feeling in some cases. Many prominent journalists and thinkers have gone on television to express their skepticism about Bucharest and Mariupol. Despite overwhelming proof, they still refuse to accept the obvious. What kind of peaceniks are they?